Welcome back, Weather Reconnaissance Team, to another weekly Recon Briefing Update. I'm your host, Russ Parsons, and as always, I'm thrilled to be here with you today, Monday, April 27th, 2026, bringing the latest on what Mother Nature has in store for us. We're coming to you live once again from Parsons, Kansas, where it's partly sunny. We're sitting right at about 75 degrees out there, but as always, we're looking beyond our immediate surroundings. We're going to jump right on into this week's weekly weather briefing. And I do want to start off with, I do apologize. I haven't been here for a couple weeks. I've been not really slacking off, but I've been having some major computer issues within the last couple weeks. And I believe I finally got all that figured out. And hopefully we'll get back into the swing of things and do some good weather stuff. All right, we are going to jump right on into the presentation for today. This particular photograph of the tornado here was taken back on April 23rd of this past week in Enid, Oklahoma. This was the Enid, Oklahoma tornado. And as we all know by now, or if you haven't heard, it was rated an EF4, which is a rating of a 4 out of a 5 in intensity and in the damage that it actually caused. So it's a pretty good sized tornado. I was looking at some of the actual damage survey done by the National Weather Service out of Oklahoma City, or Norman, Oklahoma, and it had caused some pretty good damage there on the south edge of Enid, Oklahoma on the 23rd of this past week, and pretty good sized tornado. I believe so far this year it's one of the biggest ones we've had. So, and we are definitely getting more and more tornadoes. It's been a very active week. And let's take a look at that, the last 7 days of severe weather. As you see here, let me get... see if I can get my pointer up here. Here we go. All right. The Enid, Oklahoma tornado on the 23rd of this past week, it would have been right here in this area. They have another one kind of hidden behind the hail icons. All these other pink and purple icons were severe hail. Lots of severe hail reports and several tornado reports. Had some tornado reports down here in northern Oklahoma towards the middle of the week. About the same time period here around the Bremen, Oklahoma, very photogenic tornado. As you see here off to the left in the picture here, this was the Bremen tornado. It was between Blackwell and Bremen, Oklahoma. They're on April the 23rd. Courtesy goes out to Lisa Dimmitt. She's a chaser for, I believe, KSN Storm Tracker out of south central Kansas. Wound up getting the picture of this tornado here, and so that picture was taken by Lisa. Like I said, several other tornado reports up around the Kansas City area over the past week, and even some snow reports south and western South Dakota, and so a little bit of everything this past week, severe wise. This is what the tornado reports looked like. Each one of these icons denotes a tornado during the past 7 days. Like I said, Enid would have been here. This would have been the Bremen, Oklahoma, here in northern Oklahoma. I did go live. If you missed that on the 23rd, I did go live with the tornado updates as it went through Enid and also the Bremen, Oklahoma area here, northern tier of counties of Oklahoma. So if you missed that, go back and watch it. Give the video a like on either YouTube or Facebook, and I'm still trying to get my name out there and trying to get my channel up and going, and appreciate all the help I can get right now with all that. North of Kansas City, they had several reports of tornadoes. And then back to the west of Emporia, once again, another tornadic storm. And several reports towards the end of last week, I believe that would have been the 25th of last week, that they had several reports of tornadoes. I believe that was Saturday, maybe, in south central Oklahoma, south and east of Oklahoma City, between Oklahoma City and McAllister. And then down here around the, I'm just going to say north central Texas, in that general area. And a couple of reports that I did not get on there from yesterday evening. And believe it or not, we had several reports of tornadoes again yesterday evening, here in southeastern Kansas, and some down here west of Bartlesville, Oklahoma. I did go out and chase. That's the reason I didn't go live yesterday. When I do go out and chase, I normally don't go live. I don't really have any of the pictures. I wasn't able to get those in the presentation, but hopefully I'll get some of those in there for next week that I took. Most of everything that I saw, supercell and wall cloud wise, and a couple funnel clouds there north of Altamont, Kansas, were all after dark. So the only time you could really see it was when in the lightning flashes. And but yeah, it was an interesting little chase. Started out west of Parsons over here in this area, and went down to around the Cherryville area, and then back to the east, and followed the supercell as it went across central Labette County. So it was kind of a chasing and also spotting for my local county here. This is the Thursday through Monday time frame. Actually, been Monday through the next Sunday. I'm sorry. Holy moly. So I can go back here. Hazards outlook. As you see on the April 30th to May 1st time frame, here, western Texas going to get some heavy rain. They do need some rain down in that area due to some of the drought conditions, and hopefully that will relieve some of the drought conditions that they currently are under down here in this area. I know they're still having burning issues, fire weather outlooks and everything here in the Texas Panhandle, so it's still pretty dry in that area, and they need the rain. But they're looking for some heavy rain between April 30th and May the 1st of this upcoming week. This is what today's surface analysis map looks like. We do have a cold front, and I will attest to that. The front has come through the Parsons area here in southeastern Kansas this afternoon. It did spark off a few severe thunderstorms with some hail and wind reports up here between Fort Scott and Neodesha, off to the north and west of Parsons here. I don't think there was a whole lot of reports, but they did have several warnings on some severe storms there. Most of today's tornadoes and the big time stuff is all happening around the St. Louis area as this cold frontal boundary swings into that area, well off to the east of the Plain States. But they were expecting quite a few tornadoes, large tornadoes in eastern Missouri and Illinois, and in that area today. This is today's severe weather outlook, Monday, April 26th, or actually the 27th, I guess we were on, so I didn't even get the date right on that. Need to get back into the swing of things. I've been out a couple weeks and have to start getting everything updated correctly. But anyway, like I said, they do have an enhanced risk. I'm not sure if they upped that to a moderate risk today or not, but mainly over eastern Missouri and most of Illinois and down into northern Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky area. Today we did have a marginal risk back here in southeastern Kansas. The front kind of coming through southeastern Kansas like this right here from northeast to southwest, and sparked off a few severe thunderstorms this afternoon. Nothing real severe, but was a little bit extra rain. Speaking of rainfall, in the storm yesterday, the supercell storm that moved across central and northern Labette County, I believe I picked up on in my Cocoa Ross gauge, I picked up about 4.25 inches here in Parsons, Kansas, which is a huge amount in a 2-hour period. I mean, we did have some major flooding last night. I barely made it back to the house, and but yeah, all the streets here in Parsons was pretty much flooded with that much rain in 2 hours. This is the surface analysis chart for tomorrow, Tuesday, the 28th. Says here we're expecting some rain and thunderstorms tomorrow. I believe we've got some showers more than thunderstorms. May start off with a few thunderstorms early till about noon or 1 tomorrow afternoon, and then after that it'll be just showers up here north of the front. Something maybe 20-30% chance up here in this area, so nothing real bad. The severe weather pretty much drops back down to the south quite a way. Southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas area is where they're expecting the severe storms tomorrow on Tuesday. And that'll be along this frontal boundary down here. And it'll make it all the way down to the southeastern part of Oklahoma area. This is the severe weather outlook for Tuesday, April 28th. Like I said, southeastern Oklahoma will have the slight risk, northeastern Texas the slight risk, and that marginal risk will go on down into the rest of central Texas and bigger share of southeastern Oklahoma tomorrow. So if you live in southeastern Oklahoma, central Texas, you can expect some rain, hail, and possibly some severe winds in those areas. This is Wednesday, April 29th, surface analysis chart. I am really dropping the ball here. Okay, this is Wednesday's surface analysis chart. I apologize for that. I'm getting ahead of myself. The front makes it all the way down into central Texas. That's what will be giving them a little bit extra rainfall down here in central Texas that they need really badly. You'll have some rain and thunderstorms here. Looks like from about San Antonio back off to the east in the northeastern part of the state here. And with some showers up in northwestern Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota. And like I said, this is on the Wednesday the 29th. Thursday surface analysis map shows that the rain moves back in. The front makes it all the way down to southern Texas along the Gulf states and almost into the Gulf of America down here. But we'll have some showers and thunderstorms across Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota. We got rain likely out around Dodge City and Garden City areas, and then back down into the Texas panhandles. They need that rain really bad. I hope they really pick that up out in western Kansas because they have not had much rain at all so far this spring or even severe weather-wise. They're just not picking up anything west of Wichita in Kansas. It's been a pretty dry spring so far in western Kansas. This is Friday, May 1st, surface analysis map. The front hangs around in southern Texas And you can expect some thunderstorms, not severe. None of these storms north of the front here in Texas or Oklahoma or southern Kansas will be severe. So we're just talking about normal showers and thunderstorms, but not expecting anything severe the rest of this week, which will be a good break for all that because I know it's been a busy last couple of weeks. And so that's something to think about, that even when we do pick up a little bit of rain this week, it is not going to be a lot in Kansas, I know for sure. And we'll touch on that here with the forecast in just a bit. This is Saturday, May the 2nd's surface analysis map. The rain hangs around in Oklahoma and eastern Texas with some showers and thunderstorms, and the Texas Panhandle a little bit there. Front just don't want to go all the way into the Gulf. Hangs out down here just along the Gulf states, and it's going to cause some havoc for the weekend across southern Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and northern Florida, southern Georgia, all the way across that frontal boundary. It's still going to be pretty active down there in that area. And you look up here in North Dakota, we've got another front coming down out of Canada, and that will probably be another weather maker the following week. First full week in May will likely be pretty active once this front up here makes its way off to the south and east. The front already drops by Sunday. The front already drops to northern Nebraska. I'm not sure if we will get enough moisture. This front down here into the Gulf, it kind of makes its way down into the Gulf of America, and it may scour out the moisture enough to where we don't get enough moisture with this to work with up here to cause any severe storms. Something we'll have to keep an eye on. It may take a week or so to regenerate all that moisture and the fuel that we need for storms and severe storms up here. But something we will keep an eye on after the first of next week to see if that will be a thing with this next frontal boundary. Here's your 7-day forecast in San Antonio, Texas. The next 7 days. Wow, look at those temperatures, folks. All the way up to 96 on Tuesday and Wednesday is what they're expecting for highs. And then with that frontal passage, once it gets down to San Antonio, lots of rain expected this week with that frontal passage. And going to cool things down about 20 degrees between Wednesday and Saturday. Looks like your Saturday will probably be somewhat showery and rainy. And then your Sunday looks to be much better there in San Antonio with sun and clear skies. Oklahoma City. This is what your next 7 days looks like. Today is supposed to be high of 88 today. That frontal boundary will make its way through this afternoon, and it will cool down to about 80 degrees by tomorrow with a chance of showers off and on throughout the day. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms. Pretty much the same thing Thursday through Saturday morning. 50% chance Thursday night, and then again during the day on Friday. So it's the biggest chance for the week of showers and thunderstorms there in Oklahoma City. But once again, your Sunday looks about perfect. So hopefully you can get out there Saturday afternoon between the showers, and again on Sunday when clear skies there in Oklahoma City. This is your next 7 days in Wichita, Kansas, south central Kansas. Supposed to have gotten up to about 76 degrees today, and clear skies between today through Wednesday. And then you'll have a little bit of showers and thunderstorms move in by your Thursday through Friday time frame. And your Saturday and Sunday looks perfect, right around 70 degrees, 76 on Sunday. So there in Wichita, your upcoming weekend's going to be perfect. So make sure you're making some plans to get out and enjoy this great spring weather in south central Kansas over this next weekend. This is your next 7 days in Parsons, Kansas, here in southeastern corner of Kansas. And 30% chance off and on through about 4 p.m. tomorrow. I believe that goes from about noon to 4 p.m. tomorrow. Have about a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Temperature-wise, it's looking pretty darn good. Looks like some cloudy skies on Thursday with some small chances of rain on Thursday night into Friday. But your weekend here in southeastern Kansas looks pretty darn good. You can't get much better than around 70 degrees and sunny skies. Lincoln, Nebraska, this is your 7-day forecast. Looks like they'll top out at about 77 degrees next Sunday. So your upcoming weekend in Lincoln, Nebraska looks really good. Friday through Sunday looks really good. And with some showers and thunderstorms possible today, and then again tomorrow and on Thursday. Pierre, South Dakota, you're expecting some showers between today and Thursday. They're in that area. And your weekend, just like the rest of the central and southern plains, your weekend there in South Dakota looks pretty darn good. Right around 70 degrees, sunny skies. Can't get much better than that. So once you make it through the Thursday morning time frame, you're good to go there in Pierre. In Minot, North Dakota, this is your next 7 days. They had a small chance of snow showers early this morning, before the sun come up. And they're going to be about perfect. They're in north central North Dakota for the rest of the week. They're going to warm up from the lower 50s Tuesday all the way up to around 70 degrees by the weekend. So, yeah, Tuesday through Sunday there in Minot, looking pretty darn good. This is the next 7-day rainfall and precipitation forecast. As you see, along this warm front and frontal boundary, as it sags down into Texas for the remainder of the week, looking to get about 2.5 to 3 inches here across central, west central, and east central Texas, and even back up into the Texas Panhandle a little ways here. And it looks like western Kansas, talking about that a little bit ago, anywhere from about 3/4 of an inch up to an inch of rain. And they need that extremely bad right now out there. They've got some really major drought conditions. Make sure you tune in next week, and we will take a look at the drought conditions and where the drought's affecting everything here in the Plain States. And it's still been pretty dry. I know we're up to above normal, actually, with the 4 inches of rain we had yesterday here in Parsons, Kansas. I believe that put me at about 5 inches above normal so far for April of this year, with a total of a little over 9 inches of rainfall for April 2026. Which sounds like a lot, but I believe last year we had a little over 10 inches in April. April and June of last year was our 2 bigger months that we had for rainfall here in southeastern Kansas, and not sure if that will continue or not. We will have to tune in and check that out. But do expect some flooding. I would expect some flooding here across eastern Texas, central and eastern Texas, and expecting about 3 to 4 inches, it looks like, here across eastern Texas over the next 7 days. All right, that brings us to our Beyond the Forecast segment here at Russ's Weather Recon's weekly weather briefing. We're going to talk about the HRRR model, the HRRR model, which can very well be your best friend for short-range forecasting. So let's jump into this segment here, and we'll take a look at the HRRR weather forecasting model. Today we're going to talk about one of my absolutely favorite tools in the meteorologist toolbox, which is the HRRR model. If you spend any time on weather apps, storm chasing forums, or National Weather Service forecast discussions, you've probably seen this acronym thrown around. But what is the HRRR? How does it work? And when should you actually trust it? Stick around, because by the end of the video, you're going to know how to use it like a pro. You may ask, what is the HRRR model? HRRR, or HRRR, stands for the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Model. It's developed and operated by NOAA, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and it is the go-to short-range model for the continental United States. Let's break that name down, because it actually tells you everything you need to know. High resolution stands for the HRRR runs at a 3-kilometer horizontal grid spacing. Now, for context, some of the global models we look at, like the GFS, run at around 13 kilometers. So the HRRR is seeing significantly more detail in the atmosphere. That means it can resolve smaller scale features, things like individual storm cells, terrain-induced precipitation, sea breeze boundaries, and mesoscale convective systems. Then the rapid refresh part of it, this is the other big one. The HRRR updates every single hour. Every hour. That's 24 model runs per day. Compare that to the GFS, which only runs 4 times a day. That frequent update cycle means the HRRR is constantly ingesting new observational data and correcting itself as conditions evolve. So right out of the gate, you've got a high-detailed, frequently updated model, laser-focused on the continental United States. That's a pretty powerful combination. So let's take a look at how it actually works. We'll talk about the engine under the hood. The HRRR is built on top of the WRF framework, or the Weather Research and Forecasting Model, and it's nested inside its parent model, the RAP, or the Rapid Refresh, which runs at 13-kilometer resolution. So what does that actually mean in plain English? The RAP gives the HRRR its large-scale atmospheric environment, the steering currents, moisture plumes, pressure systems. The HRRR then takes that information and downscales it, adding the fine-grained detail at 3 kilometers. One of the HRRR's biggest strengths is its data assimilation system. Every hour, it's pulling in a massive stream of real-world observations, which includes surface stations, radio sondes from weather balloons, radar data, satellite imagery, aircraft weather reports, and even GPS-derived moisture data. It blends all of that into the model initialization so that when it starts a new run, it's starting from the most accurate possible picture of the atmosphere right now. The HRRR also uses 3D radar reflectivity assimilation, meaning it can actually see where storms are happening in real time and incorporate that into its initial state. That's a huge deal for convective forecasting. No other operational model in the U.S. does this as aggressively as the HRRR. So then you might ask, well, what's it good for? Or what's it good at? All right, so where does the HRRR really shine? Number one, convective initiation and storm timing. When you're trying to figure out when storms are going to fire on a volatile afternoon, the HRRR is your first call because it's assimilating radar data and running hourly. It updates rapidly as the atmosphere destabilizes throughout the day. The 12Z run might show storms at 6 p.m. The 15Z run might push that back to 8 p.m. You want those updates. Number two, it's terrain-driven precipitation. out west, Colorado, Utah, the Cascades, the Sierra Nevada, terrain is everything. Orographic lift, rain shadows, upslope flow. At 3-kilometer resolution, the HUR can actually see the mountains, and it handles that terrain interaction far better than coarser global models. And number 3, winter precipitation type. When you're trying to nail down the rain, snow line, or figure out whether a surface-based warm layer is going to produce sleet versus freezing rain, the HUR's detail gives it an edge, especially in complex terrain or along the I-95 corridor where small differences in the low track mean everything. Number 4, short-range wind forecasting. For fire weather, marine forecasts, aviation, anything where you need precise wind speed and direction over the next few hours. The HUR's resolution and data assimilation make it extremely useful. Now let's talk about some of the limitations of the HUR model. Now I always say a good forecaster knows their tool's weaknesses just as well as their strengths. The HUR is no exception. Limitation number 1 is its forecast range. The HUR only goes out to 18 hours, with 4 runs per day extended to 48 hours, specifically the 0Z, 06Z, 12Z, and 18Z runs. That's it. It's a short-range tool. If you're trying to figure out what next Thursday looks like, put the HUR down and go look at the GFS or the Euro. Limitation number 2, convective spin-up. In the early hours of a model run, roughly the first 1 to 3 hours, the HUR is still spinning up its storms. It may produce spurious convection or mishandle ongoing storm structure right out of the gate. Always look at a few consecutive runs rather than hanging your hat on just one. Limitation number 3, mesoscale error growth. The same high resolution that makes the HUR great also makes it susceptible to rapid error growth. Small errors in storm placement or intensity in hour 1 can cascade into big errors by hour 12 or 15. The further out you go, the more you want to sanity check it against the RAP or the GFS. So the bottom line is that the HUR is a same day to next day tool. Use it for what it was designed for. So now let's talk about how to access it and read it. Okay, where do you actually go to look at this thing? My top recommendations is Pivotal Weather, pivotalweather.com. It has a fantastic interface, easy to customize your parameters, and great for side-by-side model comparisons. You can also check it out at the College of DuPage, weather.cod.edu. It's free, reliable, and has a huge variety of HUR output, including soundings, cross-sections, and storm relative helicity maps. You can also look at the HUR on Ventusky and Windy. Great for a quick visual check, though they sometimes lag behind on the latest run. The RAP or HUR model page at NOAA's Environmental Modeling Center. If you want the raw goods straight from the source, that's where you need to go. When you're looking at the HUR output, pay attention to simulated reflectivity, where the model thinks storms will be, the surface-based CAPE and the CIN, instability and capping, and you also want to look at the 10-meter winds, surface flow, and boundaries. The hourly precipitation for timings and totals, the temperatures and dew points for the moisture axis, and get comfortable flipping through consecutive runs. If 3 or 4 runs in a row are all showing the same thing, that's a pretty decent signal. If every run looks different, that's also a signal. It means uncertainty is high. Just remember, the HUR is one of the most powerful short-range forecasting tools ever built, and the fact that it's freely available to the public is honestly incredible. A decade ago, this kind of resolution and update frequency was reserved for research institutions. Now anyone with a Wi-Fi connection can pull it up and dig in. Whether you're a storm chaser dialing in your chase day, a weather enthusiast watching a snow event develop, or just someone trying to plan an outdoor event tomorrow, the HRRR should be in your toolbox. Next time, I'm going to break down how I actually use the HRRR on an active storm chase day, walking through a real forecast process step by step, and you do not want to miss that one. If you learned something today, hit that like button, drop a comment below with any question about the HRRR that you might have, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next Russ's Weather Recon briefing. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. Get the word out there. If you know anybody that's interested in weather, give me a shout out, and make sure you subscribe and follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. When I do go live, that's pretty much where I'm going live, all three of those locations at the same time. And also be looking for something special coming up in the next week or two. I'm going to expand on some of the aerial stuff that I do, specifically for the state of Kansas. So if you live in Kansas, get the word out that within the next couple of weeks, I will be expanding some of my live forecasts and segments for the state of Kansas. That's what I'm more used to. That's what specifically, I've grown up in the state of Kansas all my life and lived here all my life. And so I pretty much know what's going on in the state of Kansas. That pretty much wraps up our weekly weather recon update for the week. Thank you for tuning in, staying weather aware. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to the weather. And you can always stay up to date by following us here on Facebook at Russ Weather Recon for additional resources and detailed forecasts throughout the week. And make sure you join me next week for another reconnaissance mission into the atmosphere. Till then, stay safe, stay informed, and enjoy the weather, whatever it may be.